So I'm here at Silver Dollar City for the final time this year, and as you can see, I got the mask and the gator, so I'm pretty layered. That's why I'm not really gonna vlog today. But fun fact, next year will mark 20 years that I've been coming to this park. Today, I'll be taking a look at all the pros and cons about this park in my final visit to the park in 2020. Silver Dollar City is my home park. It's always been my home park, and it's hard to imagine life where it wouldn't be my home park. I've been coming here for a long time. In fact, my first visit was when I was 4 years old back in 2001. My family would always take me down to Branson, Missouri, and usually the highlight of the trip for me would be to go to Silver Dollar City. As the years have gone by, the park has changed in several ways, and many enthusiasts who visit claim this is one of the best parks in the country. So I consider myself very thankful that I can call this my home park. After almost 20 years of visiting this park, I've compiled a list of some good and some not so good things about this park, so you know exactly what to expect when you come to visit. The first pro is the location of this park. It's located just west of Branson, Missouri, pretty close to the small town of Branson West. You have a beautiful setting for this park, with the Ozark Mountains serving as the backdrop of the park. That does lead to a little bit of hiking because you're sitting on the terrain, but you know, everyone could use the daily exercise. But at the end of the day, the setting is absolutely beautiful with this park, specifically on the west side of the park over by Wildfire and Powder Cay. The first con is also the location. Now I understand I just listed this as a pro, but it's also a con, and let me explain. Put simply, this park is in the middle of nowhere, and it's not too easy to get to. When most enthusiasts are planning a coaster road trip, Silver Dollar City is usually not in their path, unless they specifically want to visit this park. The closest parks to here are the other two parks in Missouri, Worlds of Fun and Six Flags St. Louis to the north, as well as Magic Springs to the south, and there's also Frontier City to the west. At the end of the day, Silver Dollar City is a park where you almost have to strategically fit into your travel plans. The second pro is the food. You're hard-pressed to find better theme park food than here at Silver Dollar City. Okay, there is Dollywood, but that's because they're also owned by the Herschend family. And Knoebels has some great options as well, but from the front of the park to the back, there are tons of great food options at the park, from the Skillets to the new Rivertown Smokehouse Barbecue, and of course the amazing cinnamon bread. There's so many great options to choose from when you're at the park. The second con is the detached water park. Silver Dollar City's Drive Park has a few water rides to get you a daily soaking, like American Plunge, Mystic River Falls, and Fire in the Hole, just to name a few. But for water park fans, the water park isn't even across the street from the park. You have to drive over 10 minutes down Highway 76, and the water park, known as Whitewater, is on the Branson Strip. I know a lot of people who like to jump between the Drive Park and Water Park when they're visiting the theme park, specifically at Six Flags parks so they can use their dining plan in the water park. But if you're visiting Silver Dollar City, just know that the water park is a little bit of a drive away. The third pro is the staff. The staff at Silver Dollar City are truly some of the friendliest of any theme park I've ever been to. There are a handful of parks I've been to that could potentially rival Silver Dollar City for the friendliest staff. But all the employees here seem to enjoy their job, as I rarely come across a staff member with a sour attitude. The operations at this park are also a pro, but I'll lump that into this one because that also has to do with the staff, who usually move very quickly to make sure the lines stay short, even on busy days. The third con is the lack of thrilling flat rides. The park's flat ride collection is decent at best, but most of them are on the smaller side. For instance, They have a Zamperla disco, a Viking ship, and tons of small kids rides in the Grand Exposition and Fireman's Landing family areas of the park. But for thrill seekers, outside of the roller coasters, there's just the giant barn swing, which is an S&S Scream and Swing, as well as Firefall, the S&S drop tower in the Fireman's Landing area, which isn't that tall in the first place. In my opinion, Silver Dollar City could really benefit from some larger, more thrilling flat rides in the future. The fourth pro is the theming. The park is entirely themed to the 1800s, and Silver Dollar City did a phenomenal job to make sure every inch of the park is themed. Every queue, every restaurant. It's honestly hard to find a place outside of a Disney or Universal park that has this level of theming in North America. I understand Phantasialand and Europa Park, and most of the parks in Europe have phenomenal theming as well. But when you're talking about just the parks here in America, Silver Dollar City is very close to the top of the list when it comes to most well-themed parks. I've saved my largest pros and cons for last, and this is my final con: the park's very confusing layout. There is a good chance if you've never been to this park, you will get lost very easily, most notably in the middle section of the park. There are tons of dead ends at this park, which makes so many people get turned around. I find it easy to navigate parks that don't have too many dead ends, but there's a lot of them here, so if you're visiting the park for the first time, make sure you download the Silver Dollar City app on your phone, as there is a map there, or have someone who's been to the park before travel with you so they can guide you through the maze that is this park. The fifth, final, and best pro, in my opinion, is the free parking. It's becoming increasingly rare to go to a theme park and get to park for free, specifically with major chain parks. Most parks will see that as another way to rake in some extra dollars, and I'll admit, if you want to park closer to the front, you can pay, but really, if the option for free parking is there, why wouldn't you take it? Because not even Dollywood offers free parking, which I thought was interesting, but not a huge deal. You literally just follow the signs when you get there that say, free parking left lane, and just find a spot. It may take a while, but it's worth not having to pay between $15 and $30 for parking at one of the best parks in the country. Since the park's entrance is a long ways away from the lot, they do offer a tram to take up there if you want to avoid having to hike to the front entrance. So those are the pros and cons of Silver Dollar City. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and hopefully this video encourages you guys to take a visit to this world-class theme park. I'm lucky to live so close, as it's only 45 minutes away from me. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and if you like theme parks and roller coasters as much as I do, please consider subscribing, as there's going to be more great content coming to the Quackens Coaster channel. Thanks for watching.